It was a gloomy evening, raindrops tapping against the window pane like skeletal fingers, as I sat alone in my dimly lit apartment. The ambiance was perfect for my favorite pastime, browsing through old photographs and memories on my laptop. I opened the photo folder labeled Family Gatherings and started scrolling down memory lane. Laughter, hugs, and the warmth of togetherness filled each snapshot. My cousin Lucas was always the life of the party, his infectious grin lighting up even the dullest moments. I paused on a picture from last year's family reunion, feeling a pang of sadness as I remembered that it was the last time I saw Lucas alive. Tragically, he had passed away in a car accident shortly after the reunion. The wound was still fresh, and I often found myself reminiscing about the good times we had shared. My cursor hovered over the delete button for a moment, contemplating whether to clear my digital clutter, when an unfamiliar email notification popped up in the corner of my screen. The sender's address caught my attention, lucas.jenkins@email.com. My heart raced, confusion mingling with a rising sense of unease. How was this possible? My mind raced through possible explanations, each more improbable than the last. With trembling hands, I clicked on the email, and a single line of text greeted me. "Hey cousin, miss you a lot. Lucas." My heart thudded in my chest, and I felt a shiver crawl down my spine. It couldn't be Lucas, he was gone. But the words seemed so him. His playful tone, the way he used to talk. I swallowed hard, my mind battling between disbelief and curiosity. "Is this some sort of sick joke?" I muttered aloud, my voice barely above a whisper. Without thinking, I hit reply. "Who is this? This isn't funny." The minutes stretched into an agonizing eternity as I stared at the screen, my eyes fixated on the blinking cursor. Just as I was about to dismiss the entire thing as an elaborate prank, a new message appeared. "Sorry, didn't mean to freak you out. It's really me, Lucas." I gasped, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. This couldn't be happening. The rational part of me screamed that this was impossible, that it had to be some sort of hoax or hacking attempt. But the emotional part, the part that longed for one more conversation with my dear cousin, was desperate for answers. "Prove it," I typed hesitantly. Almost instantly, a photo attachment appeared in the chat. I clicked on it, and there it was, a picture of Lucas and me, arms slung around each other's shoulders, both grinning from ear to ear. Tears welled up in my eyes as I stared at the image, my mind swirling in a maelstrom of disbelief and wonder. "It's really you," I whispered to the screen. The conversation flowed from there, as we caught up on lost time. Lucas claimed to have found a way to communicate from the other side, a way to bridge the gap between the living and the departed. He shared stories of his experiences on the other side, describing a realm of shadows and whispers that existed beyond our understanding. As the night wore on, my skepticism began to wane, replaced by a bittersweet mixture of hope and sorrow. It was as though Lucas was reaching out to me one last time, offering closure and a chance to say the things we never got to say before he left this world. Days turned into weeks, and the email exchanges became a regular part of my routine. I confided in Lucas about my struggles, my dreams, and my fears. His replies were always comforting, a familiar presence in a world that had felt so empty without him. But as time passed, a lingering doubt gnawed at the back of my mind. How could I be sure this was really Lucas? Was I losing touch with reality, allowing grief to cloud my judgment? The more I questioned, the more Lucas seemed to evade direct answers, deflecting with cryptic remarks about the mysteries of the afterlife. One night, as I typed out my latest email, pouring my heart out about the pain of his absence, I received an unexpected response. "Remember, cousin, some bridges shouldn't be crossed. Farewell." Confusion and dread flooded my senses. What did he mean by that? My heart raced as I desperately typed out more messages, begging for clarification, but the only response was an eerie silence. Days turned into weeks once again, and no matter how many messages I sent, there was no sign of Lucas. The email address he had used suddenly became invalid, and my attempts to reach out were met with undeliverable notices. I felt a deep sense of loss and betrayal, as though I had been led down a dark and treacherous path. Had I been communicating with a malevolent entity all along? Had my desperation to connect with my cousin blinded me to the dangers that lurked in the shadows? Haunted by unanswered questions, I decided to seek closure in a different way. I visited Lucas's grave, standing in front of the headstone that bore his name. As I placed a bouquet of flowers at his resting place, a gust of wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a sense of finality. "I hope you found your peace," I whispered to the wind, tears streaming down my cheeks. Walking away from the cemetery, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed into a realm beyond our comprehension. A world where the boundaries between life and death blurred into obscurity. Whether my email exchanges were a genuine connection with my cousin's spirit, or a clever ruse orchestrated by something darker, I may never truly know. One thing remained certain: some bridges are best left uncrossed, and the mysteries that lie beyond should be approached with caution, for they may lead us to places we were never meant to tread.